you saw that, how you felt that on the court, and how you think this team grew over the course of the year of recognizing that and still finding ways to win.
For sure, I don't think that's an excuse either, because I mean, you're playing against a team and you need to win. You can't always catch them by surprise. But I definitely felt like post All-Star break, we definitely had a lot of improvements there. And then we had a couple injuries go down, which kind of made us start again from the beginning and figure this whole new rotation thing out. And we ended up falling short at the end.
Domas, 2 questions for you. Number one, is it hard to look at this season and really assess like what it was? Do you take it at face value for the win total, where you finished in the West, or do you look at some of the games that got away and some of the injuries you dealt with and think that like as we've heard, this could have been maybe a 51, 52 win team?
Definitely, yeah. It's hard to assess right now. I was talking to some of the guys, like, it wasn't a bad season. We were always up on a good note, on a high. Like usually when you don't make the playoffs, you have a losing record or you're almost at 500. So it definitely didn't feel that this way. So the fact that we're not in the postseason is definitely hard to swallow right now. So I can't really answer that.
And Malik's future obviously is a big focal point right now. How important has he been? And do you approach him? Do you say anything just about how much you guys would love to
I've tried every day since the beginning of training camp. Obviously he knows what I think of him and how much I care about him. So yeah, hopefully we would love to have him back.
Domas, a year ago, well not this soon though, but after the season was over, after the Warrior series that you was in, you had mentioned that there were some things that you wanted to work on in the offseason, which it appears that you did, because you went crazy with the double-doubles and you led the league in triple-doubles. Going into this offseason, because you and De'Aaron both have made improvements in your game, what are some of the things that you want to focus on individually to continue helping your team win?
I think it's everything the same. You just got to keep trying to focus on your craft and be more consistent, more efficient, more ways that you can help the team out. We clearly see we need more on this team, to compete with the best, especially in the West like this. So anyway, we can improve our games to help manage that gap. It's going to be a big thing for us.
Domas, 2 questions for you. First, are you healthy heading into the offseason? If that's the case, does that change your offseason plans at all?
No, yeah, everything's good.
And then 2, you just alluded to it. What changes do you think that need to be made or need to be added to this roster that you guys didn't have this year?
Right now, for me, that's not a question for me. That's more for Monty and West. We're gonna have these meetings later.
Domas, as you kind of reflect on your tenure here in Sacramento the past couple of years, how does it kind of feel, or how would you assess the way you've been able to evolve as a player? Kind of becoming the hub of the offense, and talk about the double-double numbers and triple-double numbers. Just from your point of view, how does it feel to know you've evolved in this kind of a way as a player in your stay here in Sacramento?
It's been really fun. Like I always say, since the first day, I've been welcomed here with open arms, and it's made it very easy for me to transition and really be the player who I am today. I always give credit to my teammates. They're the ones who make it easier for me on the court. So their trust, allowing me to be me on the court, is what's led me to be here.
You talked about those decisions of Monty and West. I'm just more curious. You and Fox, they obviously have such a commitment to financially, and wondering how comfortable maybe you having a voice in some of the decision making that goes on with this organization. Like, do you feel like you have an impact in that way and have the freedom to speak up in that regard?
Yeah, of course. Monty and West have always been really open with me and included me in some big decisions. Which I appreciate. And hopefully it keeps moving forward that way. And we have a big summer coming up.
Domas, your individual accomplishments this year from the triple-doubles, the double-doubles, everything of that nature. I know it's focused on from an individual standpoint, that's an individual stat, but how did the team kind of grow around you and get to a point to where you were able to have that success?
Just every day grinding, being together, learning from each other each game. Season was a lot of ups and downs, with everyone with rotations, guys coming in and out, next man up, and us adapting to that, I feel like, is what kind of helped us get to where we were. We just fell short at the end.
Domas, I know last summer you worked with Doug all summer long on sort of the finer nuances of the game. What is it that you plan on focusing on this season, especially The jump shooting, is it more threes, is it more mid-range? What is it you're trying to work on?
Like I say, you know, it's always a bit of everything, you know, my overall game. I feel like, you know, through the offense, I kind of have to have a threat everywhere on the court, since I'm getting played through, you know, on the elbow in a situation like that. But knowing Doug, he already has a whole book written for me, and we got to go over it now. And he's very creative, you know, and we're gonna get to work straight away.
With you and De'Aaron being the stars of this team, how do you feel like you guys did this year as leaders on and off the court, and where can you continue to grow?
I feel like there's always room to always room to improve and to grow in that situation, you know. And yeah, you know, De'Aaron has grown hugely, you know, speaking up, you know, keeping guys accountable, you know, and I think it's definitely showed, you know, and we just gotta kind of keep adding on to that into next year, you know, with this group or whatever may happen. I don't know.
Domas, you're locked in for, you know, for quite a while financially and contract wise here. De'Aaron's, you know, gonna come up sooner or later. Keegan's gonna come up. Do you worry that when you take what might feel like a step back this year, that maybe some of the guys around you, their confidence gets shaken? Does your confidence get shaken in the direction and where you guys are going and what you can be?
I definitely don't think it's shaken. If anything, it'll just motivate us more. I do believe that there always has to be a little step back before you kind of climb up all the way to the top. So the fact that it happened now, you know, I'm only hoping for good things moving forward.
Domas, on your right here, you've been asked about this a lot all season long, but now that it's over, the offensive side of the ball just wasn't what it was last year. The defense got better. You're obviously incredibly important on that end. Just what's your final assessment of why the offense seemed to take a step back, and how big of a part of the offseason conversation is that going to be?
I think it's gonna be big. We gotta go over things and see how we wanna play. You know, we had a really good year offensively last year, and this year, obviously the year before, we had a lot of players having career years, efficiency-wise, you know, and all that stuff, you know, so that obviously had an effect this year. But there's always ways to improve and get better shots, and it should definitely be a big emphasis this summer, going to training camp to see how we can kind of adjust that or make it better or see what players think.
Domas, one of those career guys was Malik. Obviously, you talked about, you know, almost campaigning for him a little bit and trying to convince him, but can you speak to just his overall importance and to this roster that you feel he has, and did it take even that much more of a step this year from last?
Yeah, you know, with Malik, it's not around the court. It's everything goes off the court. You know, he keeps us together. He brings this energy. You know, he always has guys with a smile on their face. You know, and kind of has that off-court vibe that every team's looking for a guy like that on the team. You know, and he definitely brings that with this group, where we have a